Whether we're interested in the nature of reality, good health, or energetic medicine, or just having a better life, one of the parts of us that we really need to learn about is our etheric body. The etheric body comprises your chakras, your aura, and the meridians that join it all together, which are a little bit like our nerve pathways in the physical body. A lot of Western people are very surprised to learn that indeed they have chakras, because it hasn't really been part of our cultural upbringing to understand this part of ourselves. However, for many thousands of years it has been part of the culture of the East, and it's something from which we can learn a lot. In fact, it has been in our Western tradition, but a long time ago. If we look at Christian art from the early periods, you'll often see that photos of Jesus, Mary, or saints have golden nimbuses around the head and sometimes around the heart as well. These are not saying that the physical body shone with any inner light, but the etheric body. They're actually references made by the artist to the inner body, to the etheric body. So the nimbus of light around the head refers to the crown chakra, and the nimbus of light in the heart refers to the heart chakra. When we say that a person is very heart-centered, or that they have a big heart, we usually don't mean that the physical organ is bigger than somebody else's physical organ. What we're referring to is their psychological profile of being a generous person. Why do we point to the chest when we say, "Who am I?" or when we're talking about giving? We do that because the heart chakra is the center for these things. It's a whirling vortex of energy, as are all of the chakras. So we have 7 major chakras in our body, and each of them is a whirling vortex of energy spinning backwards and forwards like a washing machine agitator, and, like lungs, sucking clean prana in and expelling dirty prana. So when they're working well, energy is sucked in from our surroundings, which feeds our physical body. When they're not working very well, when the chakras get gunked up with the stresses and pressures of our lives, then they slow down and they don't operate very effectively. What we need to do then is clean them out. But first I thought I might give you a little tour of your chakras, and you can see from this how it is that they might be affecting you. Starting with the top of your head, you have a crown chakra. It points straight up in the air from the top of your head. This chakra is a filing cabinet for all of your thoughts and beliefs around your relationship with the divine. A lot of people find that they feel a bit blocked sometimes, and often it's because they have a blocked crown chakra. The crown chakra also looks after the physical health of the region of your head, your brain, and people who have difficulties in the crown chakra sometimes suffer from a lot of stress or anxiety, or can get headaches. The next major chakra that we have is the Ajna chakra, which sits between the eyebrows, and the Ajna chakra is like the conductor of the orchestra. It's the chakra that controls all of the other chakras and keeps them in order. It also has a lot to do with our will, the use of our will, whether we're willful or people can easily exercise their will over ours, and has a lot to do with the big picture of our life. Where do we think we're headed? If we don't know where we're headed, there could be an issue with the Ajna chakra. The next part of the etheric body is the throat chakra. It sits in the center of the throat and controls the parts of the body that surround it, including the ears, the mouth, the tongue, and the throat itself. So the throat chakra has a lot to do with the way we process the details of our life. It has a lot to do with our use of logic and being orderly and detailed with our presentation of ourselves and the things that we do. It also has a lot to do with our capacity to communicate with other people. So if you have blockages in this area, they will show up in the throat chakra. The next major chakra is the heart chakra. The heart chakra sits in the center of the chest and is the center for love and relationship within our body. The heart chakra is also very special because it's a bit like the lock on the door to the divine. Clairvoyantly, it can be observed that the heart chakra is reproduced within the crown chakra. And the crown chakra is really the doorway to the divine. It's through the crown chakra that the big downpouring of divine energy can come in during prayer and meditation. But if the door is a bit locked through the heart, then the amount of flow will be diminished. So what we can do about that is work on our relationships, particularly practicing forgiveness and letting go of any grudges or old relationship problems that might be just sitting there, maybe even from many years ago. And if we let that go, the lightness we feel inside ourselves is excellent. It feels great, and we're able to move on with our life in an amazing way. Also, we're able to bring in a lot more energy from our Divine Parent. The heart chakra also controls in our body the heart, the physical heart, and the lungs. So if you have a lot of ailments in this area, it might be worth looking at your relationships, and particularly whether or not there are some that still might need a bit of work. Also, whether or not you're someone who's able to express your emotion very easily. In our culture, a lot of people have been taught that it's better to keep a stiff upper lip, and if that's the case, a lot of our feelings are actually stuffed down inside. And esoterically speaking, this may be a reason why it is that heart attack is such a prevalent cause of death in our Western culture. The next chakra is the solar plexus chakra. It sits just below the heart chakra, where the ribs meet at the front. And the solar plexus is a lot about the egoic self, or our self-identity as an individual. It's about receiving, whereas the heart's about giving. If you have a very giving large heart chakra, but your solar plexus chakra is very small, then it could be that you have issues with allowing other people to help you. And this could be because perhaps underneath there could be some issues with low self-esteem, feelings of lack of self-worth, and these are the types of things that end up being stored in our solar plexus region. In turn, these feed through to areas such as the liver and the stomach, the pancreas, gallbladder, the bottom of the lungs and the bottom of the heart, and any of these areas can be affected if we have issues in the solar plexus. The next major chakra is the navel chakra, which sits at the belly button. And this has a lot to do with how we assimilate all kinds of things from food to life. It controls our large intestine and our small intestine. And if we have issues in this area, we often find that we find it difficult to adapt to change, that we don't feel very empowered in our own life, and that perhaps a lot of the time we perceive ourselves to be a victim of someone else's actions or speech. If this is you, then we better look at your navel chakra and see if we can change some patterns in there to help you become more empowered in your life. There's a minor chakra that we talk about a lot too at the Harmony Center, which is the sex chakra, which is located just above the pubic bone. This has a lot to do with our creativity and also with our sexual functioning. It controls the sex organs and the bladder, and is an important chakra through which we can express joyfulness and personal magnetism. So it's kind of like an 8th chakra that we often talk about at the Harmony Center. But in the more traditional literature, you'll read that there's 7 chakras, and if that's the case, the navel and sex chakra often are combined as one. The last of the major chakras is the base chakra, which exists at the base of the spine and has a lot to do with your security, your groundedness and connection with the earth and physical life. If the base chakra is not operating very well, we can have problems with family, with finances, we can feel a bit depressed, a bit disconnected from life, we can have a lot of problems with procrastination, or physically we can have problems with our spine. The base chakra supports our whole body physically, and therefore particularly the musculature and the skeletal system are very much controlled by the base chakra. So I hope this brief introduction has given you something to think about the chakras. Our Ignite Your Spirit program will give you a lot more and a lot more experiential knowledge of your chakras. So we hope that you'll come and explore your inner self during that seminar. Until then, namaste. I honour your divinity.